click on the subscribe button, and press the bell icon, to never miss any updates.
Welcome to Face to Faith. I'm your host, Reverend Dr. T.K. Nakagaki, the founder and president of the Heiwa Peace and Reconciliation Foundation of New York, which is 501c3 organization, nonprofit organization, and also the former and also the current executive officer of the Buddhist Council of New York. And so this program itself is interface, basically dialogue or activities that we're talking about, because of the society that we're living is more diverse, and also inclusion become one of the key to be living in this society with harmony and peacefully. And so in our program, we also have some guests coming. And today we have a special guest, actually continue from the last episode, Dr. Kazuko Hiria Tatsumura. And she was actually a lot of course, I hope you can watch the other one too, but she used to be a pianist and do the piano and a lot of producing cultural things. But then after she retired in 1992, she established a non-profit organization and Concert Asia Society and the Gaia Holistic Center. And so those are based on Eastern idea. And also Dr. Kazuko and myself has opportunity to present the dialogue about interface dialogue, the coexistence and harmony of Buddhism and Shintoism, unique relationship in the past and present Japan. Because this is one of the example of interface dialogue, interface happening in Japan, historically speaking, for 1,500 years, which is a long time, 1,500 years, in Japan, Shinto and the Buddhism together. Of course, Shintoism is indigenous religions, and then Buddhism came originally from India and China and then Japan. And so, in a way, two different religions meet. And so but then after that, almost not much of the wars or fight, killing and so forth, but rather it's a kind of relationship is very respecting, harmonious. And this is actually the Parliament of World Religions, this 2018, which was held in Toronto, Canada, from November 1st to November 7th. And our presentation was November 3rd. And so that's a little bit introduction that we're together for that. And then today, especially people don't know much of the Shintoism that we realized at the conference. So maybe we can start with what is Shintoism like. And then Dr. Kazuko, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome back. And so I'm very excited to hear more about Shintoism itself.
Yes.
There are many religions, but some people, of course, not many people realize Shintoism. So this is a good opportunity. So
Shinto has no leader, no doctrine, no teaching, nothing. And Shinto is the way of life in Japan. And it comes from the respect of nature. In Japan, we have a most beautiful, beautiful nature. At the same time, most horrible, horrible aspect of nature. Every year, disasters comes. So many times, practically whole Japan is being washed out or rattled, so forth. And this year is no exception. There are many, many disasters. But the Shintoism means, in our mind, the Japanese mind, the respect extreme respect and fear of nature. So nature becomes like a god. So that's it is no leaders, no doctor. Leader is nature. And cope with nature, to endure with nature, and respect nature. This is Shintoism. And we have it in our blood, nature.
So, like for the audience here in the United States, so maybe a little bit closer to Native American revision.
Very much closer to Native Americans, which worship sun, nature, water, river, everything. But we are getting at the same time unbelievable benefit of the nature. So extreme gratitude to nature. This is Shintoism.
Okay.
And it's not anything that you have in your other parts of countries.
Yeah, countries are different.
Yeah, they have a leader, and then you teach that
like
religion.
A founder is there, and the people. That's a big difference.
Yeah.
But also you brought some pictures, and then because
can you see this picture? This was one.
Let me see. Yeah, you can. I hope our audience can see this, or the viewer can see this. Is that good? I hope. And
this is the I'm a Shinto priest, so this is the official costume, and this is the leader of the Shinto, next leader of the Shinto shrine, and then Reverend Nakagaki.
Yeah, this is a Tenkawa Jinja.
Tenkawa Jinja.
In Nara, in Japan.
Yeah. In the mountain, very far to get to.
If you go there, it's like it's really like within the nature, and so feel like your feeling of the gratitude to the nature, feel the nature, or living together with the nature.
Yes, exactly.
So that's like respecting is not just instead of have a distance, but also closeness of the natures and so forth. Very.
This kind of a nature worship is not looking at the sea or view or something, oh, how beautiful it is. No, you have to understand the nature of the feature of the nature. It's a very fearful feature and a very beneficial feature. We have two unbelievable things in the nature. In Japan, this is.
Because you want to explain a little bit of the white, the colors or something.
White is a purity of human. We only use white.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to the contrast between like a Buddhism and then the Shinto.
Buddhism
they
usually
black and white color.
Yeah.
So and but because sometimes we talked before too, but like at the end of the year we have like normally December or to January, of course Christmas the Japanese people celebrate, but then they are not necessarily Buddhist or Shintoist, or I mean
Christian.
Even of course Christian, but even they are not Christian, they celebrate the Christmas.
And even Christian they celebrate New Year's. You go to shrine. You have so many events in shrine, twice a month. So they are all geared towards the appreciation of the nature. And you have so many festivals.
Because at the end of the year, that December 31st, people go to the temple to ring the bell for the 108 times, so clear the realizing of all those 108 blind passions of greed, anger, and hate.
This is Buddhism.
Right, that's a Buddhist things. Then next day, we
have sunrise, and then we have the Shinto festival, usually. It's very pure. Shinto is pure, that's why it's white.
So it's very interesting, and then that's happening. The 108 normally happen the nighttime, because really the midnight we start ringing the bell, and then when the morning it comes, then you go to the
Morning
Shinto. So
sunrise.
it's like the color of the
Yeah.
the thing that we wear is
Yeah.
also maybe reflect those
Yeah,
things. Maybe.
right.
So it's
It was very nice last year because of my accident. After 50 years of absence in this country, I went back. I didn't go back to Japan. So he and I went to the mountain, and we
Right.
had a beautiful, beautiful day, and night and day. Yeah.
And after we do those early morning, we go to the Buddhist temple. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a Chinese Buddhist temple, and Kamel, New York.
Yeah.
And they have actually interfaith
Yeah.
the New Year celebration,
Yeah.
which was kind of very very symbolic in a way.
Right.
And so it's a mixture with the different religions, but also celebrating together
Yeah.
for the New Year. Yeah, so that was a
That
wonderful.
is very interface.
Yeah, sometimes maybe I have to show some of the
Yeah,
photo, but I'm
yeah.
not ready for that one today. But sometimes the talk goes to someplace else. So, but then it's wonderful,
Yeah, that was
way.
after 50 years of my absence from in this country of New Year's. I hated the New Year's here. I thought it was meaningless, and so drinking and all that things. So anyhow, New Year's is supposed to be very purifying and worshipping the nature.
Yeah, that's true. So,
So then, shall we talk about
talk about a little more history, or how Shinto and
Shinto is, as you know, 5,000, over 5,000, 10,000 years old worship of nature. And this became a very much of a mainstream belief of Japan. When the Japanese emperor was established, it became a national belief, which is 2,700 years old approximately. And the Buddhists came about 6th century from China and Korea. So the Japanese was very, very interesting. They welcomed the Buddhism, and then Prince Shotoku, that time very, very beautiful person, spoke about Wa, which means peace and coexistence. It's the interface of today. And he talked about, at that time, conflict between pure Shintoism and his idea of incorporating Buddhism. They fought shortly, and then coexisting principle of Wa became very important. So they started building a temple right next to the shrines everywhere, all over the place, of course. And then that lasted long time.
And then the Prince Shotoku, Shotoku Taishi himself, created the 17 chapter of constitutions.
Yeah.
And then the first chapter is the one that you're talking about, is a peace is the most value. And so that's the
coexistence. Wow.
And then
peace.
Need to listen to other people together.
Yeah.
So that's the one of the key parts, I guess, that you're talking about.
To this day, it lasted. Of course, there were bumps and sometime, but to this day, many of the older houses has a Shinto shrine, little mini Shinto shrine, and the Buddhist altar in the same house, and then they pray for both.
Yeah. So if you visit a temple or shrine, also you find regular not only house, but also like a famous in Kyoto somewhere.
Yeah.
Last time I went to the Kamigamo Jinja actually, and then when he explained, that's the place where do the chanting of the Buddhist sutra. And so there's also like those, and then like the other way too, like a Kiyomizu-dera, the Buddhist temple.
Yeah.
But they have a Shinto shrine.
Shinto shrine next to it. So long as we have coexisted. I mean, still today. And then all other religion can come in there, because Shintoism is a base of our belief, but it is not conflict with others. It is always observing others. That's what it is. Even we had a couple of bumps. Otherwise, we would have been occupied by Western force, like all the other Eastern Asians.
Yeah.
They would have country.
There's a lot of historical past that too.
Yeah.
But and then also like the understanding how Shintoism welcomed the Buddha or the Bodhisattva is also very interesting in a way that how much some of the Buddha become like one of the gods.
Right.
So there are many gods in a way. I don't know this word God itself is a good word to use or not, but then
we use kami, word kami.
Mm-hmm.
It means you have nothing like kami, so you have to be translating into word God. But it's not really God in a Western religious sense. It's kami. Means the almighty of nature. Something beyond yourself, beyond ourselves, beyond. No matter how much you make AI and all that things, but there's nothing like nature, which is as big as giant. Even if you make all these things going to the Mars, but one earthquake can wipe everything out. So that's nature.
So in a way, this is a gas for the mountain.
Yeah.
This is a gas for the oceans, or gas for the skies, and all those.
Yeah, many gods, but it is a spiritual being. That's what it is.
So that's why when the Buddhism came to Japan, like a Buddha or Bodhisattva would be considered as one of the gods.
Yeah,
welcome,
right.
Like a god from the foreign country visited to Japan.
Correct.
And then also the Buddhism side, also there's a kind of reincarnated one. And so in a way, the Bodhisattva appear in Japan, or Buddha appear in Japan as a god form or something. That's the way sometimes Buddhism take the other, the what do you call it, the Shinto gods or native gods as a part of the Buddhism too.
Yeah, so Buddhism also has the same kind of quality of interface.
Yeah, because there are many Buddhas actually, not just only one Buddha, but rather, like Medicine Buddha, or Shakyamuni Buddha, Amida Buddha. It's just all kinds of the Buddha.
We have Yorozu no Kami. You mean millions of the gods. Actually, when you come right back to it, God is within yourself. So God is kind and then angry.
Kind of angry. So in a way, also like a sense of wisdom. I don't know. Yeah, that's true. Be careful. Be aware of what you're doing.
Yeah.
So in a way, the kind of scary part is like a wisdom. You have to learn. You have to know what you're doing, and then seems like a compassion. Is so matching to those quality of wisdom and compassion in Buddhism. Probably is a fear and also respect.
And
of the God.
Gratefulness.
Gratefulness. Yeah.
Yeah. We live in this kind of a world where that you compete with each other a lot to conquer others. No, you don't have to conquer others. Conquer is not the right word. It's
coexistence.
And if we can only do that, world will be no war.
Yeah.
Respect others.
Yeah, because like even nature, you don't take nature for yourself, but rather you share all the benefit from the nature too.
Yeah. And nature gives you so much the kindness. Because of nature, we have crops, we have fruits, we have flowers, we have trees. We are living, and we are able to exist because of nature. At the same time, it's a horrible nature. We call it nature. This big disaster is very often God's doing. God is angry. So we have a respect of some festivals which calm down God's anger. And then as soon as we have all these disasters, Japanese think we have to change our mind because mind is going the wrong way. So that's why God is angry.
Okay. So it's in a way the Western country tend to have a Judeo-Christian idea of one God, but then so I guess the Asian part of even including Buddhism and Shintoism tend to have many gods idea, or maybe possibly zero God. So it could be many gods. Zero
many God too. Or the zero God. God is inside you because you are part of nature. I mean, so long as you worship the nature, you come right down to it. You are part of the nature as much as trees, flowers, cows, and chickens. They are all part of nature. So you start respecting your life force. Life force is nature, so that you try to the way that God should be.
Yeah, and then also human being itself is part of nature, so I guess respecting each other for the human beings as well. So we're just living together peacefully, harmoniously. Yeah. So that's kind of
God doing.
Attitude. And then that's a wisdom, I guess, that we wanted to provide.
Yeah,
maybe learning from the experience of history, past and so forth of Japan, of religious conditions.
Yeah, exactly. How interesting
so I hope this one is something beneficial for the viewers. And today we have again Dr. Kazuko here with us, and so thank you very much for joining.
Thank you.
And so thank you again for everyone. I hope you have learned something new to learn, because there are many different religions, different cultures, different countries, different people live. So this is a wisdom that we can all share. And so thank you so much for joining today. Let me ring the bell for peace and finish with my session or program today. Thank you, and peace to you all. Thanks very much. Thank you again for joining.
iTV, Call of Peace, Save Humanity.